You are listening to Connection Quest, where every episode is a heartwarming journey to unravel the mysteries of love, intimacy, and the art of meaningful relationships. Join Miku as he explores the real, sometimes messy, always meaningful paths to building stronger, more vibrant romantic bonds. Forget quick fixes. We're digging into the heart of connection, understanding, communication, intimacy, and growing together. Ready to deepen your relationship journey? Let's begin.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Connection Quest. I'm Miku Lane, and today we're diving into a topic that often makes people's hearts race a little faster than usual, and that's vulnerability. Now, if you've been with us from the beginning, you know we love peeling back the layers of emotional intimacy. Last time, we touched on how personality types can affect our communication in romantic relationships, but today, let's take an intimate journey into how vulnerability threads into those conversations and connections. You know, the term vulnerability can often trigger a sort of defense mechanism, maybe bring up some uncomfortable feelings, and that's completely understandable. We're taught to build walls, be strong, not let anyone too close. But what if I told you that those very walls might be what's keeping you from experiencing the most profound love possible? I mean, why do you think we put up these walls to begin with? I think it comes from a place of protection. We build them as defense mechanisms to keep us from getting hurt. I've been there myself, and I know how appealing it is to stay in the safety of those walls. But here's the secret. Love isn't found in safety. It's found in taking risks, in being seen in your entirety, flaws and all. In fact, I once had this experience where I had to choose between staying closed off or opening up, and it was terrifying. But it also led to one of the most beautiful connections I've ever had. So, let me share a bit of that story with you. I was in a relationship where we were at a crossroads. My partner felt I was distant, and I knew I had been holding back because of a fear of being vulnerable again. But there came a moment of truth where I thought, am I okay with losing this relationship because I can't open up? So I did the hard thing. I shared my fears, my wounds from past relationships, openly and honestly. And you know what? It didn't scare him away. It actually brought us closer. It was a moment where I learned that vulnerability doesn't weaken you. It strengthens the connection. Vulnerability isn't about showing weakness. It's about owning your story and having the courage to be authentic. And speaking of authenticity, let's look at how different people express this vulnerability. Because we all come with a different baggage claim, right? Some people wear their hearts on their sleeves, while others prefer to keep things close to their chest. This disparity can sometimes create tension in relationships. If you're someone who's naturally reserved, dating a person who's open and expressive can be both a blessing and a challenge. So how do we navigate that? Well, acknowledging that everyone has varying comfort levels with vulnerability is a starting point. Imagine a friend who's a bit more cautious. They might need time to feel ready to open up deeply. And I want to be clear. It's not about changing who you are or feeling pressured to spill your soul just because your partner does. It's about gradual openings. Picture it as a flower blooming. It doesn't happen overnight. There's a process to it. And that patience, that's a form of love in itself. There's this balance we've got to strike between vulnerability and self-preservation. Relationships are much like a dance, and the rhythm is set by how much trust and communication you weave into them. To bring in some expert insight, Brené Brown, a researcher who's done extensive work on vulnerability, says, vulnerability is the birthplace of love, belonging, joy, courage, empathy, and creativity. Imagine cutting yourself off from all these beautiful emotions simply because you're afraid of taking a step forward. Let's talk scenarios. Imagine someone who's been hurt before, maybe cheated on, or who went through a painful breakup. That trauma often lingers, coloring how we approach new relationships. I've had a friend, let's call her Jess, who held on to past hurt for a long time. Every new person who tried to get close was met with those invisible walls. It wasn't until she met someone who was patient and continuously showed her kindness that she dared to let her guard down. Their relationship transformed when she finally allowed herself to show vulnerability. It wasn't easy, but by leaning into that discomfort, she found not just love, but also healing.
In the quest to build your love, remember that connection starts with comfort. the kind of comfort that makes you want to stay in bed all day with your person. That's why I'm excited to share my latest discovery, Cozy Earth. Their bamboo sheet set is an absolute game changer. They're often called the world's softest sheets, and trust me, it's true. They're crafted from premium viscose from bamboo, meaning they're buttery soft, cooling, and moisture-wicking, so you and your partner can enjoy a perfectly restful, dry sleep. They're so luxurious, Oprah chose them for her favorite things 7 years in a row. Experience the luxury risk-free with a 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty. Ready to upgrade your comfort connection? Visit CozyEarth.com and use my special code, ConnectionQuest, to save big on the best sleep of your life. That's CozyEarth.com. Code ConnectionQuest and start building your luxurious love.
But before we champion vulnerability as the sole harbinger of deep connection, we should remember that it's not about oversharing or ignoring personal boundaries. Vulnerability has to be mutual and handled with care. There needs to be a confirmation of trust and setting safe spaces where both partners can share without fear of judgment. That's true empowerment right there. When both you and your partner hold each other's vulnerabilities with love and respect, it fosters the deepest of bonds. And it's remarkable to see how those very vulnerabilities can turn into strengths. What's inspiring is that when one partner shows vulnerability, it often encourages the other to open up. It's kind of like a ripple effect. Imagine sitting with your partner and sharing that which you kept hidden. Suddenly, you're not just partners navigating life, but soulmates rediscovering each other on a deeper level. It's transforming. When both partners can be vulnerable with each other, it builds a bridge of empathy. And empathy? That's where understanding blossoms. That's where acceptance lives. So, what are some practical steps you can take today to embrace vulnerability in your relationships? Start with small steps. Share something personal. Perhaps a thought you've been holding on to. It doesn't have to be earth-shattering. Simply expressing, I've been feeling a bit unsure about my career path, or here's a childhood memory I've never shared, can open the door to deeper connection. It's about creating moments where you and your partner can look beyond the surface. Remember, folks, being vulnerable doesn't mean you have to lay everything bare at once. It's perfectly okay to take your time and build that trust. Vulnerability is a journey, not a destination. What if there's fear of being misunderstood? Well, that's where communication comes in. Saying, hey, I'm really nervous sharing this, is being vulnerable in itself and can help set the tone. This calls for active listening on the partner's part. Acknowledging those shared vulnerabilities is akin to saying, I see you and I love you deeper for it. As we wrap up, I want to empower you with this thought. Vulnerability is the space where true connection forms. It might feel like you're peeling away armor, but what remains is unshielded strength that draws you closer to your partner. Today, go out there and dare to be seen. Allow love to blossom from that undefended place. Remember, your story, in all its colors, is beautiful and worth sharing. Until next time on Connection Quest, keep exploring the depths of love and intimacy with courage and curiosity. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you for joining us on this leg of Connection Quest. Remember, connection isn't a destination. It's a journey you choose to take, one conversation, one understanding, one brave step at a time. If today's episode sparked something, share it with someone who might need it. Find show notes, resources, and ways to connect with our community at our website, connectionq.us. Also, check out our Connection Quest blog. Don't forget like, share, and subscribe wherever you listen to your pod. Until next time, keep nurturing the love you're building.